Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
So, how do your customers actually find you? Is this something that you ask new customers that come through, how they heard about you or where they found you? Because if we're not doing that, 9 times out of 10, we are leaving a lot of money on the table. Because if you know the keywords or the channels in which your customers found you through, wouldn't you want to double down on those channels so that you can get more of the same kind of clients that pay, stay, and refer? Well, I would. And you should also ask yourself this question. How do you actually find stuff that you're looking for these days? Are you, patronizing, or are you actually going to businesses that have engaged you, that have educated you or inspired you and even offered you value? Because your buying tendencies and the way that you make purchases should also inform how other people are buying from you. So unlike most of the clients that we end up dealing with that just rely on word of mouth marketing, I want you to really get down to the nitty gritty of how your customers find you. Okay. So whether you're looking for where to buy the best digital camera for, say, under $500, or the best toaster, or a phone, or whatever it is that you're looking for these days, what's the first place that you look at? And I'm guessing that you, like me, or your customers, your first port of call is to search for it online. And according to research from Nielsen Media, it says 82% of customers in small businesses, they use the internet search engines to find out about maybe local businesses, local providers, and especially if you're a coach, consultant, or small business owner, you want to be found when these people are searching. And this is hardly surprising in today's digitally connected world, and where people can just say something and maybe their voice activated search engines are listening to them at any given moment, as we can say, okay, Google, who is Prosper Taravinga?
On the website jamesshort.com.au, they say, Prosper Taravinga started Livelong Digital as a simple agency to help small businesses convert and sell all leads coming their way. He helped businesses grow and maximize awareness, traffic, and revenue from both organic and paid search.
So there you have it. Even if you think you're alone in a room, you always have these devices listening for you, and they are search engines in and of themselves. So as a coach, consultant, or small business owner, you want to attract more leads and customers online than you have ever done before. And especially after this pandemic, where people are a little bit reluctant to leave their homes, most of their walking is done by their fingers, okay? And the vast majority of your customers go online every single day, whether they're playing games, they're being entertained, or they're just looking for products and services like yours to buy. And they actually hang out on social media, and they stay updated on news sites and blogs, and they're using search engines to actually answer their day-to-day questions. Now, I don't know about where you are right now, but here in Australia, when the pandemic hit, people were allowed to tap into their pensions. People were allowed to sign themselves up for what was called Job Keeper, which basically meant that they could be paid while they're staying in the comfort of their homes during lockdowns. Now, these are one of the biggest monetary or financial decisions anyone would have had to do at one of the hardest times in the history of humankind, and they conducted these processes over a mobile phone. In Australia, when you start working, you are by law, and your employer is supposed to be putting away a certain amount of money which will then carry you over when you retire, and you're not allowed to touch this money up until you're about 60 years of age. But people were allowed to tap into this money, all right, and they did it with in the comfort of their homes and using a mobile phone. So what does that tell you about now moving forward, what it is that they're going to be doing with their lives, especially with the device that they have in their pockets? All right, you want to make sure that you are found when these people are searching. Okay, they can access their money, they can access their super, they can access their mortgages, they can access their credit card via mobile phones. Are you being found where these customers are searching? So obviously our team at Live Long Digital, we have and can put together a custom strategy that actually targets your audience where they hang out the most, whether it could be on social media, search engine optimization, or email marketing. And you'll be able to actually then go in and educate your target market about your products or services and answer whatever concerns or objections that they might have and convince them to become paying customers that pay, stay, and refer. But you also need to make sure that your digital marketing strategy is tailored to the unique needs of whatever business you might have. You might be consulting, you might be training or providing information or expertise. And yes, we do understand that your business is different, and so are your clients. Okay, if you put out your hand right now and look at it from the back, you would notice that no two fingers on the same hand are of the same height, and so are your clients. So you can't use the same language techniques as everybody else that is using them out there to reach them. That's why you need to have your own tailored sort of strategy that works specifically for the clients that you are going to reach out there. So if you've identified your market and you've clarified your message, it's super easy to then determine the media which you're going to be using to reach them out. So media can be your social media, a podcast like this, or a website. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Did I touch on a touchy subject? You don't have a website, you say? So tell me something. How can people find you if you don't have a website? There's information that's out there that goes to say that a mere 44% of small businesses, especially coaches, actually do have a website. And most of the businesses that were surveyed directed less than 10% of their marketing budget towards having online activities that I mentioned, like search engine optimization, blogs, or email marketing, or things of that nature. Not a lot of people are paying for their marketing out there. And based on the, coaches and consultants and types of small business marketing inquiries that we receive as an agency, as I was saying to you, that we can help you tailor make your marketing. We also receive inquiries with people that want us to work with them. There seems to be an endemic feeling that certain businesses don't need a website. It was just this morning I had a conversation with a coach who was reliant on her Facebook business page as the only primary online property for customer interaction. I mean, who does that? I asked her why she didn't feel it was necessary for her to have a website. And she explained that since all her customers are on Facebook, it made sense to have a Facebook presence rather than a web presence. Besides being lazy, and her not just wanting to reach out to the right kind of people with the right kind of pain. I think it is remiss to go about saying you're a business owner without an actual website, because without going down the actual road of inquiring why she thought canceling a website or just having a Facebook page was enough in and of itself, I asked her what could happen if Facebook changed their mind. I mean, right now, I don't know, maybe by the time you listen to this podcast, Facebook is already called Meta, which basically is a whole different universe than than Web 2.0, which means each and every one of us that was used to this social platform, we're going to have to go through a whole big learning curve to understand how to actually connect and engage in this metaverse that they're creating. And I'm also thinking that with the way things have been going on, Facebook has been really dodgy in the way that they have been allowing people to be on the on their platform. And supposing Facebook started charging every time somebody viewed your business page, or mandated that businesses spend a minimum amount on Facebook ads in order for a page to be seen at all, which is what has been happening. You pay to play, and obviously they are following through with what LinkedIn has been doing for years. With a paid version for if you wanted to reach out to more people. What if they could actually start doing that? So I asked her, as a coach, what if that becomes the new normal? And the answer was, as I predicted, silence. All right. Half of the people that we are dealing with out there, yes, they might just be on Facebook in and of itself, but if you don't control how you engage with your audience, if you don't control how you educate your audience, if you don't control how you inspire your audience, all of this can be taken away from you. All right, you definitely are going to need to find a way that you can attract these dream clients on autopilot. All right, so that you can then market to them using email strategies. And the only way you can do this is having a solid lead magnet that is stationed or positioned on your own website that is not going to change its algorithm anytime soon. So I suggested to her a multi-platform online presence in order for her to safeguard herself for when maybe Facebook decides to change the algorithm. And not just Facebook, but maybe LinkedIn or TikTok or even Twitter, which has since changed its CEO, and maybe the new CEO might come in with different ways or strategies to run the business. I mean, we cannot count on these social media platforms being who they say they are, because let's just look, for example, Twitter. It started off with 140 characters, but now you can write a mini blog on there. So they keep changing depending on what pays them the most. So you need to make sure that you've got a multi-platform online presence that is going to make sure that your business is not going to be made obsolete in the event that platform that you're on has been discontinued or something of that nature. So if you're putting your eggs in anyone's basket, that's a very dangerous thing. You want to put them in your own basket. All right. And putting the future of your business in the hands of maybe Facebook is just tantamount to commercial suicide. Okay. Whether it's failing to block all the fake ads that are designed to manipulate people's opinion, or just changing the way users see branded content, in as much as they want you to pay in order for you to reach the rest of your audience. So if you've got 100,000 followers on your Facebook, not all of them are actually seeing your content. All right. And Facebook has already shown its colors on more than one occasion. They are feeding the master that is paying them. And whoever has the most or is paying the most is who they're favoring against anyone who wants to just reach their customers organically. So I'm not singling out Facebook here, and please don't bring in your educated opinions saying that he hates Facebook or he hates TikTok, and especially hates Facebook because I don't even have a private Facebook profile. I just took myself out of it just because of the inconsistencies in the algorithms, and I just couldn't worry myself about that side of digital marketing. But the very fact that you as a coach, consultant, or small business owner might have just decided that your entire audience is on Facebook just really shows how much of a poor marketing strategy you might have. And the person that I was talking about earlier that inquired to us, who only has Facebook presence, has a really poor marketing strategy. And I don't care what you're selling. Your customers are not all in one place. And in actual fact, the more you are seen in so many different places, it proves stability, and it actually gives you social proof that you're not a one-trick pony or a one-hit wonder or a one-click wonder. Okay. Moreover, the vast majority of our customers don't search for businesses on Facebook. All right. Nobody is looking for a dentist while they're sitting on a toilet, relieving themselves while scrolling through Facebook. Sure, I mean, searching on Google may bring up your Facebook business page, but no one is specifically searching through their newsfeed hoping to find a coach or consultant. No one is specifically going through Facebook hoping to buy products. All right, they just stumble upon these things, and we just so happen to have Facebook business pages that relay what it is that we're doing. But when your customers don't find your website, for your business, they're going to be disappointed at best. Okay, if they don't find you on Facebook, it doesn't bother them as much as they can't find a website, because a website is a direct means for customers to talk to you, because they can't purchase from you if they haven't seen some sort of real estate or some sort of presence where they can go back with the product if it stops working, or if it's not working to their best expectation. So at worst, they're going to think your business is too cheap to spring for a website, and that is not the first impression that you want to give to your prospect, for them to start thinking that you haven't even made enough money to even get one of the most basic things, which is a website for you to represent your business, and so that they can see more of what it is that you're offering besides just your Facebook presence. So stop thinking of a website as just simply being a place where you talk about your business, your product, or your service. The purpose of your site is far more than that, okay? Because before people will buy from you, they need to trust you. So if you've got a well-designed, well-structured website, this will actually help build that credibility for your business, because on your Facebook page, not everyone is going to see all the content in a formalized fashion or in a way that makes sense to them, okay? There doesn't need to be a lot of content on your website, but it has to represent who you are, at least in a short amount of time possible. And you don't even need to spend as much. You don't even need to go and create a whiz-bang website. Even on Wix, you can totally represent your brand, okay? And you can even push site visitors from the website to your Facebook page if that's what you really want. But at least there has to be something that represents you and your business that is that can be found at any given moment that people decide to look you up, okay? So you don't need you don't necessarily need a very expensive website, but you need to be where your customers expect to find you. Each and every one of our customers has at least had an experience with the brand that they worked with before, and they use their website, okay? So on your website could be tools, calculators, or whatever, anything that would help your prospect make sense of the world around them, or initially solve the problems that they might be going through. And if you don't have that on your website, you're literally leaving money on the table. Okay, so the point of you having a website is as much as to give the business another customer touch point. All right, because your customers need at least 12 to 15 different touch points in order for them to have an understanding of who you are, what it is that you're offering, and also learn a little bit more of whether you are the right kind of person with the right kind of solution for whatever problem they might be facing. Okay, and your website creates yet another touch point. If you only have social media, all right, obviously your customers get distracted. Your customers would keep scrolling, and then they won't find exactly what it is that they're looking for, and eventually they get bored. And when a customer is bored, they are just going to go off and find somebody else who's ready and who's already providing that information, and at best that person is your competitor. Okay, so the point of having a website, like I mentioned, is to give your business yet another touch point, if anything else. And whether you deem all your customers maybe are coming from Facebook or social media or not, that is irrelevant and is wrong. I bet you not everyone is going to be coming from social media. Some people will directly search for your product or services from Google, and if they land on a page, or if they land on a website that hasn't been created in such a way that it informs them, educates them, and provides them with value and at least some sort of answer, then they're going to go somewhere else. And customers are expecting a business to have its own website. Okay, some consultants are working from a franchise, or some coaches work from some sort of a platform, like Kajabi, or a platform that doesn't really allow them to customize the website in and of itself. You want to make sure that you are using the right tools, in order for you to actually, give the right information to your customers. All right, because these customers are expecting, this information as soon as they land on the website. If that's what they're expecting, that's what you should be providing. If you can't customize the website enough for you to actually give that information that customers are looking for, guess what? They're gonna just escape and go somewhere else. And if your buying habits have changed, it's an odds-on bet that your customers' habits have also changed. Look at how you are making purchases from, whoever you're buying from right now. You probably bought a book from Amazon. You probably, bought a course from somebody else so that you could learn something else. Or you are probably engaging with an accountant right now, who's doing your BAS or your books. How are you engaging with other professionals? How are you engaging with other businesses? And do you get annoyed when you put a customer service inquiry out there and nobody even responds to you within 24 hours? All of those things your customers are expecting from you, as well as they trying to make sense of the world around them, because there are so many people that are offering the same solutions that you are offering. And if you're not there to make your customers' lives better by helping them, by actually helping them, guess what? Grand opening, grand closing. Okay, and if you are skimping on certain aspects of your business, such as marketing or creating a really good informative website, then you're only doing yourself a disservice. If your company has little to no online visibility and you're doing nothing to change it just because you're lazy or you think it's wasting your money, then I don't know why you're in business. Okay, and it's no wonder you feel your business is losing out to your competition, because it probably is. You know why? Your customers patronizing somebody else who is already ready with the information that they're looking for, and is not skimping on teaching them on how to actually engage with them. At the end of the day, I can very much understand that building your own business is not easy. You're going from, like we're talking about, just creating that Facebook profile in and of itself, coming up with a website and all of those things that our customers are already expecting. It's not tough, and pretty much from then on, your website should be a point in which it generates leads, okay, and those leads will then over time convert into customers that pay, stay, and refer. But I know right now you are cold calling potential clients and having them hang up in your face because they don't know who you are, they don't trust you already, and you're busy disturbing them instead of you driving that traffic to your website so that they can exchange their email address with some sort of a lead magnet, which will then allow you or give you permission to then follow up with them, because now they at least know who you are. And maybe you're just sending out emails without getting as much as a thanks for reaching out, is because the emails that you're sending out are people that haven't opted in to any of your marketing. You just maybe found these lists along the way, or people that you think are your potential customers, but they haven't explicitly given you permission to email them. And now you're sitting there wasting thousands of dollars on ad spend without generating any qualified leads, because maybe you're just doing Facebook ads that are promoting your Facebook page, which doesn't really represent who you are as a business. And the more Facebook knows that you can now pay for ads, guess what they're gonna do? They are not gonna be extending your organic reach, which technically means that every time that you're going to be wanting to reach out to your audience, you're going to have to pay somebody to reach people that you already have. So why don't you go out there, really identify your market and clarify your message, and once you've done that, determine the media, and the website is usually the first protocol where you could actually then start disseminating all the information about what it is that you're doing. All right, that's how you compete with the bigger players, and that's how your customers will find you, no matter what happens to these other platforms that we are patronizing. Yes, each and every platform is a traffic gateway, but where are you sending that traffic? All right, those people have to come to at least some sort of central point, and that central point in the online space has to be your own website. And once you've got that website, you can now start using it to engage your audience, educate them on how you provide your service, inspire them to want more, because if you've got an ascending array of other products that you can then sell to them, how else are you going to do that through your Facebook page? All right, because these people, are you continuously going to have to pay to reach out to these people? Man, you must have a lot of money. Okay, so I can understand, as a coach, consultant, or small business owner, marketing is just one aspect of running a successful business. You go from hiring and managing new staff, balancing books, driving growth, and a lot more, and it feels like a constant balancing act where you're pulled in multiple different directions all at once. And at the end of the day, your real goal is just to help your clients. You want to spend as much time as possible changing people's lives and solving people's problems. You don't want to waste countless hours each week trying to navigate the complex world of online marketing. And you don't have to keep repeating yourself each and every time if you've got a website that says who you are, what it is that you're doing, and how you can actually help people. Because if you have structured your website in such a way that it proves why you're doing what you're doing, which is your purpose, and it directly goes to your ideal customer, the person who really needs your information and who is already buying these products and services, and who is hungry for more of your products and services, that person is your ideal customer. And if you can talk to them, speak to them, and create for them, you definitely will be able, through your website, to show the difference of why you are a whole lot better than each and every other coach, consultant, or small business owner out there that wants to do what you are doing. Okay, so it's easier to explain without having to repeat yourself if you've got a lead capturing funnel and a nurturing system that is disguised in the form of a website, which obviously will be a way for you to tap into your customers' emotions and help them along the way as yet another touch point so that they can buy from you. And when people buy from you, then they become happy clients that pay, stay, and refer. And all this will be done automatically just as soon as your customers find you. Now, all of this might just sound like we're selling our products and services, but go ahead. Go on and just do things the way you've been doing. But I know you obviously won't have a business that's profitable and enjoyable if you don't have a centralized point or place where your customers can find you whenever they are looking for the services and products that you are offering. Anyway, it's all up to you, but just keep asking yourself, how do your customers find you if you haven't got a really good website and online presence out there? Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au.